some years ago, I was living in Berlin, and while I was there, I was going to a lot of gigs where people were making music almost entirely on their laptops. And while I found the sounds that people were creating very interesting from a performance perspective, watching someone stare at a computer screen for a couple of hours isn't really on the Freddie Mercury end of the spectrum of exciting performance. So it kind of inspired me to try and find a more physical, expressive and intuitive way for people to control their sounds and also give them a stronger connection with their audience. And after a lot of experimentation, it seemed like the easiest way to get this to people would actually be to base it around mobile devices. So this is the product. It's called the Motion Synth, and it's essentially a way of transforming either your iPhone or your iPod Touch into a motion-based musical instrument. And it consists of two parts. One is a physical part, which frees your hand from the task of having to grip the device while you're playing. This increases your dexterity with which you can operate the screen. It also gives you tactile feedback, so you can really use the screen effectively as a musical keyboard. And then we have the app part, which is collecting data from the touch screen and also the motion sensors, and then passing this data on to either other apps on the same device to create sound or other devices. And so hopefully if everyone's turned off their phones, we can do a demonstration here where essentially the laptop is running a sound and the motion synth, this prototype example, is going to be controlling that sound. So really you can control any sound with this device. It's just a controller. But today we're going to be looking at a violin type sound. And like a violin, unless you're actually moving, you can't actually hear any sound. So hopefully we can hear a little bit of something as I touch the motion keyboard, but it's not until I start moving that you actually start to hear a sound. And so we can move into different... Oh, thank you. So we can move into different octaves through orientation. And we can also do things like change the speed with which we transition between notes. And we can also modulate the sound of individual notes while we're playing them. So really this device can really be used to control anything. It's not just for sound. And so as an example of this, I have this little animation and its motion is mapped to my movement. So I'm going to do a quick little musical demonstration to try and show you how these things that I've talked about might be used in an expressive way.